All right, hello everyone. Hope you're having a great Thursday night. It's currently 8:52 on Thursday, January the 11th. Tomorrow is a weather warn day due to the threat that we do have more severe weather on the way, kind of round two this week. The first one was on Tuesday. And then tomorrow still looks to be relatively active with the potential for a few tornadoes to be possible. If we do get any severe storms throughout the day, they likely will be packing damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. So we could get some power outages, a few issues with trees down, power lines down through the day tomorrow. But we do also have a wind advisory in effect. That means even outside of the thunderstorms, the winds will still be gusting near 35 miles per hour, and that in itself, especially with the saturated ground that we got from Tuesday's event, that still could cause some kind of downing of the trees. But hello everyone, happy Thursday. If you're joining us on Facebook, come say hi in the comments, let me know how you're doing, where you're watching from. It's nice to chat with you all. And of course, we will be live on Facebook here covering the event from start to finish. And if we do have any tornado warnings, that's when we'll have to cut in to on air, because that could be potentially giving out some life-saving advice. So right now the storm's actually pretty far away from us. The low pressure is starting to get its act together through Oklahoma and through the Plain States. There's some snow that's wrapping around, Kansas City and Sioux Falls. And this track once again does states of the north and west of us. So that pulls in all that warm, moist air up the Gulf of Mexico. We get the warm front that lifts through the early morning hours tomorrow, and then the cold front behind it that does kind of spark up some of these storms. But it will be a tad bit different than was on Tuesday. Flooding is really not going to be a concern with this one. Instead of getting a congealed line of thunderstorms to come through tomorrow, it'll be more supercell, discrete, kind of singular rotating storms. And if they have a strong enough updraft, that's when we could get some of these to begin to rotate. So notice here's lunchtime tomorrow. Kind of we have these discrete cells that are moving through, and one of the two of them, if they kind of become strong enough with the updrafts, that could stretch down a funnel cloud or tornado onto the ground. I think we won't see a tornado outbreak with this, but we will see one or two of these storms turning severe throughout the day. And I'm also trying to keep an eye on the Facebook comments. I think the most active time will be around 3, 4 o'clock. Around 3 or 4 o'clock. See, there's kind of one small cell here. That's when I'll be moving across I-75. So through tomorrow evening, the drive home from work could be pretty active. And even as we get towards 6, 7 o'clock, we'll have a kind of a lingering cold front that'll be pushing through. At this point, I don't think anything would be severe with that. But then around 7 o'clock, we might have a lingering shower left, but the severe weather threat should be over if you're going out tomorrow night. So without there being that kind of congealed line, we're not expecting a flooding rain event. Generally still only about 1/10 to a 1/4 inch of rain with this system that's coming through tomorrow. So that's some good news, that at least from all the flooding and the high river levels, we won't really have to deal with that kind of coming even worse tomorrow. It's going to be more for the threat of the damaging winds and also for the threat of those isolated tornadoes tomorrow. The timing to stay weather aware. Tomorrow around 10 a.m. until about 7 p.m. few tornadoes are possible along with those gusty damaging winds if those storms turn severe, but flooding is a low widespread risk. If you get multiple storms over you, could cause some localized flooding, but that's going to be it's very localized for that threat to be there. But if you don't have it already, now's a really great time to have it, especially for the SKYWATCH weather app. If you're on your phone watching this on Facebook, you can just go to the App Store or the Google Play Store and just search up SKYWATCH weather. They should come up. You'll be able to download it. Or just if you're on your computer or on your TV, just take your phone, open up the camera app, and scan the QR code there. You kind of hold it up to the screen and then tap on your actual camera screen, and then it should bring up a little tap at the top, and then that'll take you right to the App Store to download it. What's really great about this, it's really fast and responsive. If you put in your location, say you live in Macon, you put in that you live in Macon, you'll let it kind of see your location when you give it those permissions, and then anytime there's a watch issued for you, a warning, lightning in your area, it will tell you out loud. It'll say, a tornado watch has been issued for your area. And then you can go on the app and you can check it. It's really great at staying weather aware. It's not overwhelming at all. It's really simple. And surprisingly, it's sometimes faster than the warnings that we get here. So it's really nice. I definitely use it. Even after the severe weather's out, you can still use it for days that are quiet and calm. And always check on the radar on the app too if you have any plans, anytime that you really want to do. So you can be a weather nerd like us. But I don't know. I'm hoping that no one is commenting because it's not showing up that there is any. So I'm hoping that it could be okay. If anyone's on Facebook, I'm sorry that I'm not answering the comments at this time. So tomorrow's going to be pretty active. I wanted to also show you some of the wind gusts that we have. So here's the wind gusts. So the wind advisory is in effect for tomorrow around 2 o'clock. Outside of the storms, it's going to be blustery, winds gusting up near 35 miles per hour by around 5 o'clock tomorrow. Even on Saturday, after the storms move out, the sun shines back. Saturday's going to be a cold, chilly day. We still have winds gusting up to about 20 miles per hour. So speaking of the weekend, it's going to be rather nice, actually. Pretty wintry chill on Saturday. It's windy and chilly, the high up to 50 degrees. Sunday, it's a freezing start. We're down to about 27, then up to about 55 degrees in the afternoon, which is still a few degrees below average. I'm going to walk right over here, see if anyone's commented on the Facebook really fast because I love to interact with you all. I think my laptop over there might have been having some issues. So yeah, for the day tomorrow with the severe weather, really 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And we will be live streaming it here on Facebook. So if you haven't followed the Facebook page quite yet, that's also going to be a pretty smart option. And we'll be covering that if there's severe thunderstorms. If there is a tornado warning, then we'll be cutting into on air on WGXA News for Fox 24 and ABC 16 so we can provide that potentially life-saving advice. Oh, I see people. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Bert. And hi, Travis. Thanks for joining in and saying hello to us. But yeah, let me kind of break it down one more time with some of this timing. I was able to see some of the Facebook comments. We really do appreciate y'all watching us and being a part of our community. It's really nice to be able to help assist make people's lives a better thing. So here's lunchtime again tomorrow, just to kind of, if you missed it from a little bit earlier. What's different about this system from Tuesday is we don't get that congealed line of thunderstorms to be coming through. We get the discrete supercells, kind of 1, 2, 3. And instead of it being like a full straight line of the heavy blinding rain, it's going to be kind of hit or miss. And one or two of these. Okay, yeah, cool. And then one or two of these could have rotated, especially if we get enough of the updrafts. It could kind of turn that rotation on its axis, and then that could potentially turn into a funnel cloud on the ground. So we'll be watching the velocities to see if we can see any of that spin in the atmosphere. Still about 3 o'clock. Still see kind of the isolated hits here or there. So through the day tomorrow, really the afternoon is when the bulk of it should be moving through. That's when we have the biggest threat for one or two of these storms to produce those damaging winds that could knock the trees, powers. Make sure to charge your phone tonight or through the day tomorrow, because if the power does go out, you probably want your phone, especially if you need a flashlight, you can kind of use your phone for that. And there's also a way to get warnings with the WGXA SKYWATCH weather app. So your phone really, and you can also watch our coverage on Facebook and on the app. So that'll really be the best thing. Make sure your phone's charged throughout the afternoon tomorrow, just so that you can stay weather aware with whatever will be throwing our way. Otherwise, I will give you about 2 more graphics. So kind of the takeaway still with this, the tornado and that wind threat's going to be what we're watching for the most. Hail, not quite strong enough for those storms to be having the huge updrafts to collect all the ice. So hail's not a big threat, and flooding, since we're not getting that really strong line, not expecting really any flooding rain anymore, but those tornadoes and the wind threat will be really the big issue tomorrow. So once again, I will leave it with you there. We will have full coverage starting at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Gary Thigpen will be tracking what some of the latest will be at 6 a.m. on ABC 16. Don't forget that WGXA SKYWATCH weather app. It's really worth it. It's always free too. If you find that you wanted to download it tonight, you use it kind of throughout the day tomorrow and then realize you don't like it, well, then you can go ahead and delete it. So not really any kind of negatives to downloading it, just to try it out. But Gary Thigpen will be tracking what's kind of looking for the day at 6 a.m. on ABC 16 We'll likely start our coverage on Facebook here, live streaming around 10, 11 o'clock, depending on how active it gets. But then we'll be tracking it again through the evening on WGXA News on Fox 24 at 5, and again on ABC 16 at 6 o'clock. By the time we get to the evening show around 11, should be clearing out in its entirety. Otherwise, I hope you all have a very safe and happy Friday. Stay weather aware. We'll be tracking it all out there for you. Otherwise, if I don't talk to you again before the weekend, have a great Saturday and Sunday.